Hi guys, it's Jim Bounds with Motorhome Rehab Ranch, and we're going to talk about the rear suspension on a GMC motorhome. Now, you techno geeks, hang on a minute because I got to lay a little bit of groundwork for the people that don't know anything about this, but we're going to get into it, so just stand by. The original airbag system on GMC, or the rear suspension, was an air ride system. Got kind of a bad rap in the beginning because you'd lose air and it'd be on the ground. Everybody laughed at it. Look, the butt's heavy. It's down on the ground. It's on the side of the road. Well, the problem was there's not very much maintenance on a spring, right? I mean, spring works. Well, this thing came out and it's air ride. Well, just like city buses, air wants out. Look at one that's been sitting overnight. It's on the ground. And people didn't realize that. Folks, you know, they weren't used to having to work on yet another system, an air ride system. So they got kind of a bad rap. And the power level system, the first, it was in 73, 4, 5, and part of 76, was definitely air valves. It was an electro-pneumatic system, very easy to trace, but air wants out and it would leak. And when the compressor started to drop, then the air pressure went down in the tank, compressor would come on and start cycling. Everybody brought it back for warranty, and all the techs got all pissed off. So they came up with an electro level system. That's all another whole story. Let's talk about the four-bag system, and let's talk about the four wheels down there. Originally, there's a single airbag. If you lose air, you're on the ground. Both tires go to the ground. If you lose a tire, this tire is pushing against this tire, so everything goes down again. So that means you have to have two good tires and a good airbag to move. Well, if you don't have all three of those things, you're on the side of the road with the ants trying to fix it. Original airbag was made by Firestone, and it was probably the lowest bid. It was very, very simple. These arms, the swing arms, have a flex rate built into them, where when a tandem trailer or thing goes down the road, the wheels spin back and forth. Well, these would do that, and they just took one airbag for both wheels. Boy, what an inexpensive system. I'll bet you the other ones that they came up with had all kinds of airbags and springs and doodads, and this was very simple, and that's why they did it. And it was a good system. But today, when you're driving a 40-year-old machine, you want to have backups. You want to have countermeasures. If this happens, what are you going to do? I mean, the thing's too big to push, and tow bill's going to melt your wallet. So you want to have, if I lose a compressor, what am I going to do? You got to be able to pump it back up. If you lose a wheel, what are you going to do? You're going to have to change the tire, pull the spare off. Hopefully the spare isn't 12 years old, right? And hopefully it won't blow up. and if you're on the side of the road, and it's a real problem. Well, about 5 years ago, Firestone stopped making the airbag, and everybody was mad at Firestone. They did a pretty good job of keeping that airbag for one vehicle available for like 35 years. Pretty good job. When they went out, everybody went in the backyard and started coming up with all kinds of different airbag things to make the thing go up. And you could take a different size airbag with spacers or what have you, and it would work, and it would work exactly the way the old one did. And now the theory of the old one was the wheel creeps over the speed bump. I'm sure you saw the video with the pie truck going over the whoopties, and then the other motorhome went over and almost left the ground, right? Because it was all springs. It was a front axle with springs. It's not made to do that. Air ride system and a torsion bar front end does a really good job. Their idea was one's going to creep over, then the other one's going to creep over, and it's going to move half the rate because you're in the middle and it's doing this, right? The truth is, if it's an airbag on today's cars, that's what makes all the rides smooth and all that on today's cars. So I think more important than creeping over like that was the fact that it's an air ride system, okay? Well, 20 years ago when I got involved, it was a four-bag system. The four-bag system was an exotic performance option where airbags were available. You could either do that or you could get real fancy and spend a lot of money and put on a four-bag system. And I love putting the four-bag systems on because it made the coach much more stable. It's not that it's bad, but if you go around a turn, the tail end kind of feels like a marshmallow. It kind of moves like this. Well, when you put 4 bags where each wheel has its own suspension, it's much more stable. It's more like you're on a rail. Much more stable. You actually can do a slalom course. I mean, not that you want to do that with a 12,000 pound, vehicle, but you've got enough control that I think you could. So having 4 airbags, separate airbags, I think is a performance feature, and that's what it was originally. When the original airbags were gone, then it became almost a necessity because this is better. Now, let me explain why. Now, everybody has airbags out there, and it's kind of like talking about tires or gas or oil. You've got yours and you love yours, and you'll defend yours and beat somebody up because they use Sunoco or something. Well, this is the same thing. People have their airbag system they like, and they swear by it. And that's cool. I like it. No problem. But let me give you why everything that we do uses a 4-bag system or the quad-bag system. This is an upgrade from the original 4-bag system. This is made with 3/8" steel, back to back, 2 pieces of 3/8" steel bolted together, very stable. This vertical structure is not going to deviate. Okay, that was a problem with the first system. But think about this. With this 4-bag system, if you blow this tire on the original system, you got to put another tire. If it blows the tire and doesn't tear the tire up, you can take the pressure off of that bag and freewheel this tire and keep driving. You'd be on this one. Now, yes, it's a little bit overloaded. The airbag's rated at 100 PSI, and you'll have a little bit more in it. But you're not on the side of the road talking to the ants, trying to get the thing going again. Okay? If it tears the tire up, you pull this tire up on two 2x6s, pull it up flat, come up, put all the air you can in this one bag, take all the air out of that one. This tire comes off the ground. The wrench, you can take the tire off and drive off and go to the next rest area or whatever, get help, get the tire changed or whatever. You really don't even need a spare because you have 2 spares on the ground. If your front tire blows out, take that tire here out, put it up there, keep driving. To me, the safety factor of having this system is the #1 reason to do it. You're not on the side of the road. You're not in trouble. You have an option. You have a countermeasure. You have a second way to move. To me, that's what I feel is very important. Another thing that's very important on this is you're in the middle of Lower Lompoc. I used to say Lower Lompoc. I was at a Western States rally, and the guy was living in Lower Lompoc. I'm sorry, man. But anyway, you're in Lower Lompoc, and something happens to the thing. What are you going to do? This airbag is what's called a centerline bolt pattern. It's a Firestone ride right. Anybody that puts in truck helper systems will have that airbag because it's a centerline bolt pattern. But also a Goodyear, Firestone, Goodyear, Continental airlift bags. All those bags will fit. So this is a retrofit where you're not stuck on the side of the road waiting 2 days for some special part. You can get an airbag to fit this, no problem. Okay, I really feel that's a #2 reason because you're not having to wait for some crop in Lithuania to get grown or go to Craigslist looking for something. Go anywhere and you can do it. So it's a good retrofit. The third reason that you have this thing is performance, which used to be the first reason. Now it gives you options. It gives you countermeasures. If you lose the whole air rise system, your compressor, tank, and all that, it has a manifold here. We hid this one up under here. This, by the way, this coach is Bill's coach. We about ready to finish it. Its name is Fandango. Pretty cool coach. Anyway, these are flare kits by Frank Jenkins. Frank, good friend of mine. Beautiful kit, fits great. Listen to Frank when he tells you how to put it on. If you don't, he'll get mad at you and it won't fit. But anyway, we mounted the valves up here. There's a control valve up here for that bag, for this bag, and the whole system. So the whole system takes a dump in your coach. You can fill the bags up right here. Plus, the original airbag, single airbag, nominal pressure is about 110 PSI. The original 4-bag system, it was about 135, 145 PSI. So you had a problem finding that kind of air, at Wawa or 7-Eleven. Nominal pressure on this system is about 70, 75 pounds. You can get that air anywhere. You can go buy one of those little cheap 12-volt compressors. Take a while, you know how they are. But you can plug it up here and pump it up and go. The biggest thing you want to have with a GMC, because it's going to be hard finding somebody to help you work on it, is you need countermeasures, you need options when something happens on everything, on battery system. But the quad bag system gives you options. It's safer and it's more performance. Okay. Now, this has been a paid commercial announcement, gratuitous advertising for a quad bag system. If you're interested in it, they're $16.50, the most expensive system that you can put in here, by the way. $16.50 and about $110 shipping because it's two 54-pound boxes. I mean, by the weight, you're still getting a good deal. Okay, they're heavy. It's a real heavy piece. We charge 6 hours to install it. The first side will take you maybe 4 hours. The second side will take you 3 hours. You'll learn how to do it. It's easy. You got a selection of 3/4 inch wrenches and some good cuss words. One day you can do it. 2 days, sure. But it's all bolt in. It's all done. Okay? You do it one time and your suspension is fixed. Not only is it fixed, you have backups, you have countermeasures, and it's easy to maintain. Now, there are other systems. And like I said, a lot of people came up with some other size bags, put adapters and what have you, and they work and they're good and they're about half the price. I dig that. I understand. And it's not necessarily about how far it goes up or down or all this. To me, driving a 40-year-old motorhome, brother, you need some help. You need countermeasures. So that's why I keep saying it. I don't know. I've probably said it about a dozen times so far. This is the way to go. It's a safer thing to do. Okay. I'd be happy to field questions about it. How did Swayze say it? Opinions vary. Okay, but I found that this is the best way to go. Kind of pretty too. And this is gold zinc. When you open the box, you need to have a camera and take some pictures because it'll be the prettiest when this gets put on. It'll get dirty because it's a suspension. All right, well, that's the quad bag system. That's the rear suspension. What I feel is the best thing for a GMC motorhome. And hope you learned something. If you're interested in them, give me a call tomorrow. Our number at the office, 407-857-5777. You can get on me on email, you know, all that stuff. So thanks a lot. Talk to you again.